What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 20 of my Total Warhammer 3 Vilitch the Curseling Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we saw off the attack of the Lizardmen at Pomei, and Kaila's Soulflare, our temporary lord, should be good to either destroy the rest of them or take their territories, depending on how exactly Clan Eshin behaves here. We'll see about that. Otherwise, we are now moving northward with Vilitch himself as he tries to destroy Malus's forces and hopefully acquire the defeat trait of Malus, as it is a pretty good one. And then southward, our armies have separated in order to attack the Burning Wind Nomads, as well as the Caravan of Blue Roses. Should be lots of battles in our near future. But before we get to those, I'm sure there's stuff to do, so let's begin with that, shall we? What do we have here? In our new territories, the Writhing Fortress is ready for an upgrade, so let's get that going. And Orpstone Desert, you get Shangyang. Ooh, you get a wall upgrade. We should be looking into those, but Nangao gives us money, and I guess money is the more important one. And wait, you have Exploit Vassals, but I guess you can keep it for now. And in fact, so can you. We can't afford everything we want to build, can we? Alright, fine. Let's upgrade the Shaman's Temple, and that's basically all of the cash that we got going, isn't it? Okie dokie, well that's fine. The Tech Thief is not movable because he's got a bunch of turns already ready. We could move Ragnar Zorateller. Oh, he can't afford his Aspiring Champions, damn. I don't want to cancel building for that one thing. Can we get our vassals to give us any money? I think in the third game you can't really do that, can you? Well, if you can't, you can't. And then everybody doesn't like the fact that we vassalize the last of the Cathians, the western provinces, but well, we'll see. We'll see if this goes bad for us, and if we have to kill our allies because of it. And you know what we could do? We could send you to grab the gallows tree, presuming we can actually afford to take it. I am kind of curious as to what the wood will give us. I feel like I've checked wood before, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Also, let's see, Floating Mountain. You have the marble, eh? I mean, I suppose we could always trade them the gallows tree for it. How strong are the Dolgan? 1, 2... Yeah, the Dolgan are pretty weak compared to the Cool, so... Yeah, you know what? Let's send you out here. Try to grab this, if we can afford it. Rather than having these guys do it. And yeah, we'll colonize it. There you go. War coordination target lost, yeah, that's fine. And I just want to see what the wood does. It gives us ammunition for Marauder Horsemen and Marauder Horsemasters. Yeah, that's kind of meh. Most likely we'll just let him heal up here for a turn, and then we will just swap the Floating Mountain around with the Gallows Tree. That's probably the way. Of course, it doesn't make a very good case for the Dolgan in particular, because they'll be just sort of spread out a little bit more because of that. But then they're so far away from anybody that I doubt that we're going to be getting too much value out of them anyway. Whatever, we'll see. Anyway, now I believe we are done and are ready to go next turn, so let's skip the rest of this, including the Path to Glory. Commandment available, though, we will switch to Insights of the Void for obvious reasons. Though in 3 turns we'll have to go to Exploit Vassals again. And now we can end the turn. Ooh. Let's put the camera where Malus is, just in case. I'm hoping that he will get baited into attacking Vilitch, because we're in march stance here. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see. Now, how soon will Malus move here? Spare the Jungle, Nagron. Alright, here he comes, and no, he's going to be too cowardly. He'd rather face Vilitch in the Tower of Flies while being... while Vilitch is healed up more and not in march stance. Kind of dumb, to be perfectly honest. Decadent Host, you want a trade agreement. That's cute, but we're gonna have to kill you / vassalize you, so probably not going to happen. / subjugate you, I guess. Gonna have to start moving through their territories. Alrighty, clan mobilizes against army, ally begins outpost construction, and that's all swell. But it's Malus that we're coming for, so, Tech Thief. You have 3 turns, so you can actually steal tech before we attack here. Steal tech, and oh wow, yeah, we definitely don't have a lot of cash right now. So first of all, you attack. And we will be fighting this, but surround them for now. Ooh, I'd love to see Malus versus Vilitch. That sounds like a nice fight. since Vilitch hasn't been challenged by too much lately, or at any time really. Barbaros keep moving towards the village of the village of the Tigerman, and I guess you can stay here and attack it next turn because you can at least heal up slightly this way. And the Temple of Elemental Winds, we will probably be trading it to our vassals here eventually, presuming that they actually come to like us. Or if they rebel, then we won't give them this stuff. I mean, then they won't deserve it. Tamar, you were raised specifically to conquer Shilong, so you're gonna do that. And then here, oh, Johan, you coward. I thought you'd fight, but apparently not. Alright. Now here's a question, how much of our army will we lose actually fighting this non-manually? Oh, also you have the Rampager standard, we need to give that to somebody else. Alright, just auto-resolve it. That's actually not so bad. If they try to siege us here, they'll be in trouble. So occupy the place. Nice, an earthing rod, which is useless, but we'll probably change it up into something else. Now, you can't block armies, right? You can only assault units. And you're exhausted on top of it, so that doesn't help us here. Knobbly Gorge. And, oh wow, these guys do have a fairly decent amount of territory. And then there's Nurgle to consider. Shattered Stone Bay, ooh. If we take Shattered Stone Bay before it's attacked by Nurgle, by the Poxmakers, I mean, we may be able to force vassalize them. Well, not really force vassalize them, but generally to vassalize them, because they will really want to complete their province, on top of the fact that we could offer them potentially some money. That'll be a goal here. Should keep an eye on what's going on out there, though. Alrighty, Vilitch, you will move last. Barbaros, you have moved. Kailas, we need to delete you, because you're costing us way too much money right now. Can you take Mingju? I don't know. Can we get you some basic troops or something? Hey, did I not tell you to... You know what? Occupy Terracotta Graveyard. And then we'll have you... it's part of the Dread Fleet, eh? We don't really want the territory. Can we build some cheap troops to guarantee the fact that we take this? Because they do have a fairly okay garrison and even some Kroxagors in there, which has me concerned, considering the fact that our army is pretty badly beat up. At least the Marauders are cheap. Let's get some Marauders. And 1,000 for Trolls. But it'll be in the name of deleting this army, so let's just do that. Alright, and then we'll give you some temporary... Oh, you have the Path to Glory thing, eh? Huh. You know, I'm tempted to actually devote him to Tzeentch, but perhaps we wait for the fight first. I know it'll be a waste of levels a little bit, but let's do this. Life leeching a bunch of spirit leeches, and let's get you Dominating Presence. We'll level him up and then we'll see. If he turns to something that's useless, then we'll just delete him. As simple as that. With the cost reduction, it's probably worth it to try just to see what we get out of this. So yeah, let's have you do this first. We will... Actually, maybe if it's auto-resolvable, then we won't have to deal with it. Nope, close defeat. Okay, we'll actually have to fight that one. Manually. Okay, we'll wait on that then. Let's see. Let's move everybody else around first, and then we'll do that. Ooh, you need to steal tech, that's for sure, so go to Black Fang. 63, eh? What about Gorger Rock? 63, okay, yeah, just move to Gorger Rock then. There we go, not bad. And do you need levels, my friend? Yes, indeed you do. So wound, please. And let's check the rest. Tech Thief. Oh, you're the one that has 7. Yeah, you just stay where you are. You're fine. You're fine as you are. Ragnar, Storyteller. I guess you're staying where you are as well. We technically don't need the trolls in your army, but while you're building up your ranged complement, you do need to keep those. Actually, that reminds me. Gifts of Chaos. We still have Flames of Fate up and running, which isn't necessary. Unless... Where is this little army? Egrim. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna get rid of the pink horrors for even more flamers. I really wish you could upgrade these into exalted flamers somehow, but apparently it's not an actual option. And yeah, our Gifts of Chaos here at 6 out of 6, so... We will take 2 more flamers to make this 4 out of 6, unless there's something worth deleting here. Wait, let's delete these first. And then... Oh, can't actually... Well, actually, we can't afford it. Perfect. Alrighty, there we go. Burnination is real, and then the rest are going to be melee troops. And now... I just want to see, if we were to swap out Flames of Fate, what would we swap it for? There is Forbidden Knowledge, but then several of our territories would rebel. I like the Arrows of Destiny, because the ammunition is quite helpful, plus the ability of Gaze of Fate for everybody. And otherwise, nothing is super useful. I mean, I'd switch to Arrows of Destiny, but perhaps for now, we just go to 6 out of 6 in terms of Flamers. I mean, why not? Who knows, maybe in 4 turns the Eyes of the Gods will open again. And then we won't have to pay that much. Not like it changes anything in the long run anyway. Okie dokie, now Vilitch, do we want to fight with you first in a huge cinematic battle against MALUS? Or do we want to fight this one manually first? You know what, let's start easy. Let's start easy with Kailas, mostly because I want to evolve him to see whether we keep him or whether we delete him permanently. So let's do this. I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as possible. Spam that Spirit Leech against, well, like the Croxies and the enemy Feral Steg. Although obviously we're still kind of in danger here, so we will have to be careful. Probably assault from a single direction. And we'll have to make good use of our pink horrors here, destroy both enemy towers as well as kill enemy high-value targets. Maybe even send our doggos around to take the enemy main capture point. We'll see if they can actually reach it. Normally it would probably be more beneficial to actually have them run after enemies and chase them down, but we just have to win this so we can delete this damn army. Alrighty, start deployment. We can send the... Oh, we still have the stock ability. Yes, that is nice. Okay, so you're gonna go back here and stay stocked. Everybody else, you're going to move up, let's say, here. It doesn't really matter which particular direction. Let's say here. Like so. Too bad you all don't have Vanguard deployment as well, but that might be a little obnoxious. Like so. Like so. They have no casters, so we're free to move in relatively tight formation. And then Forsaken, you guys can stay back here. Alrighty, that's the entire set of units minus the doggos. Yes, yes, okay, so group 1, group 2, although probably should just make the pink horrors a separate group or whatever. Alrighty, move up. I wonder where the enemy will have deployed, considering they don't know where we are. Oh, do they all go up there? Interesting. Well, that'll allow us to take this minor supply point. In fact, you, go into the center of the enemy territory and figure out where they all are. Ooh, is that a set of Croxigors? Yes, start Spirit Leeching them. There we go, and here they come. Okay, you know what? Let's get up this ramp as fast as possible. Like so, and then we gotta be careful with our Sorcerer Lord not to get him killed. You guys, move up. Everybody else move forward. Pink Horrors, get ready to kill that unit of Skink Cohort. And then you, do you want to summon your stuff? No, not yet. Let's get another Spirit Leech going. Alrighty, very nice, very nice. Everybody's doing their job, and you guys get ready to switch to those Croxies. Yeah, it looks like way too many enemies are up there for now, so we'll deal with it when it comes, well, time to deal with it. Pink Horrors, okay, you can't attack like this, and here come the enemy Javelins. No, they're not doing too much yet. Another Spirit Leech, please, onto the Croxies. And Monstrous Units plus Lord, kill Croxies, please. And let's get a Arcane Surge surging as well. Alright, looks good to me. And Pink Horrors move up and keep attacking those poor units. Alright, how are those Croxies looking? Hopefully our Lord doesn't get too damaged by all this. And in fact, Pink Horrors, I want you to turn off your skirmish mode. And I want you to attack that unit. Ooh, okay, wait, back away, back away. We got some elites coming in, gotta be careful with that. And you know what, open the portal glyph now, and start that Spirit Leech as soon as the portal glyph has done its thing. There we go, start on that Feral Stag. Monstrous units, go for those Croxies again, but be careful. Pink Horrors, start focusing down that enemy unit, Cold One Riders, and then portal glyph units, hit those Cold Ones, or this King Cohort actually in the back. Alright, then you guys go here. You guys stay back, just use, you can be reinforcements when you're needed. Alrighty. And you know what? Let's have the spawn attack that feral stag while our trolls continue fighting those Croxies. There we go. Alright, Portoglyph units will also probably all die shortly, but it shouldn't matter. Doggos. I think it's time to move you around to attack this. By attack, I mean take, capture, whatever. And you just got damaged a little bit. Be careful, buddy. Let's not have you killed. Keep out of that. And get another attack on that feral stag. Arcane Surge on you, please. What's our power reserve here? It's actually pretty good. So we have a lot of Spirit Leeches available to us should we need them. And what are you doing? Where are you actually attacking? Move here. I'm also tempted to speed this up a little bit because this is actually a inconsequential battle. Alright, you. Keep Spirit Leeching, please. Damn, Spirit Leech is not doing nearly as much damage as I would have hoped by it now. And what are you guys attacking again? Oh, it was probably the Cold Run Riders. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. And keep holding the ground. You know what? Let's get our limited number of spears in here to add a little bit of anti-large. You guys are now having a tough time, so switch to those skinks, I guess. Lord, stay out of this. Another Spirit Leech going whenever you can. We can just watch this fight for a little while we're at it. Actually, oh wow, that guy's moving through. You know what? Let's send the spawn specifically to attack that dino. Not like we have a lot of anti-large. And then maybe it's time to save up our mana. And just to drop some Firestorms or something on the end. Let's get another Spirit Leech going, although it'll be many a Spirit Leech before we can get to the this Storm of Fire. I was confused Storm of Fire with Firestorm. To be fair, they're really similar names. And of course the Firestorm is an actual spell, and this not so much. You guys are not attacking again. Why? Yeah, we need more reinforcements to hold the line. You know what? Let's not tell them to attack anything specific, let's just move them in and then have them deal with stuff. Alrighty, you, another Spirit Leech. Well, no, we're not going to cast anything. Our trolls are terrified with nearly full HP. Okay, we really need this thing dead. Everybody surround and kill this stupid feral stag. And we get the Lord attacking it too. Especially with some of our units routing, this is not so great. And get another Spirit Leech on it. It's probably going to hit you shortly, but you're getting closer and closer to that Storm of Fire. So just attack it. Storm of Fire will do quite nicely here. You guys are not attacking anything still. I'm getting real tired of you now. Alrighty, at least the feral stag is nearly done. Can we focus any unit that's like behind the enemy? There we go. How about this one? That one seems super distant. Alright, and everybody else, there we go. Now it's just a matter of holding the line. Let's move our Forsaken back. Let's move our trolls interspersed. Let's keep you back. And you know what? You guys destroy the tower. And then you can get back to firing on something else. You better not run, buddy. Just move away. Just move away. I know Croxies and stuff are very scary. And then, are you guys blocking each other's shots, or is this because there's just not a lot of you? I think it's just because there's not a lot of them. As in why there's not a lot of shots coming in. Alrighty, we've captured this point. Now, I want you to move, well, we could try to capture the main point here. Oh, it's been completely barricaded? You can destroy this barricade. And then attack the main point. It's not like the tower threatens you here. Alright, another Spirit Leech available, and I believe that should go on the, well, you know what? They're running, but they'll come back. Let's use it on the Croxies. Oh, so close. One more cast, we should be able to Storm a Fire. Whatever we can afford, including the aspect of the Dread Knight, I think that's what we'll use. And then it'll probably hurt us quite a bit, but we are going to use a Storm of Fire. Try not to clip ourselves too much with it, though. Like, maybe even back off the units that are most hurt. And you guys, I do wish that you were doing a little bit better at actually attacking the enemy. Let's change up your angles a little bit. Aspect of the Dread Knight ready to go. Let's pop it on, let's say, the Trolls, because they have to stay in the fire line here. And there it is. Alrighty, now, I have to do this in such a way where it does minimal damage to us, so let's say like so. We should be only on the edge of it, though we will take damage. It'll hopefully be worth it, as the Saurus will hopefully get absolutely obliterated by this. And there we go, pink horrors are firing. And there's that Firestorm, seeing a few hits dropping on us, but it looks like the vast majority is ripping those Saurus apart. Ooh, I saw a couple Trolls drop. But I'm seeing a lot more of them drop. And there we go. After that, it looks like, oh, did that force the... that actually forced the entire enemy army to rout. Absolutely perfect. Wow. And damn, saving up for that firestorm, and then that just ends it. That was beautiful. Or Storm of Fire, rather. I can't believe there's a spell called Storm of Fire and a bound ability called Firestorm. Wait. No, a bound ability called Firestorm and a... No. A bound ability called Storm of Fire and a spell called Firestorm of Tzeentch. You see what I mean? Do you see? Ugh. And yes, remembering two things is far too difficult for me. Alrighty, there we go, and now we will occupy the place. We'll trade it to somebody at some point, but at this time, we can delete Kailas, or actually we can evolve him, and then delete him. Path to Glory, let's see if he gets something useful out of that third eye of Tzeentch. Lore of Tzeentch or Lore of Metal? Let's see, your Lore of Death currently, and See, the funny thing is it would depend on the kind of army that you would be leading. For example, if you were leading a... If you were leading the Forsaken army, I might want to say the Devoted Tzeentch might be better. The Lore of Metal mainly because it would give us the ability to use Glittering Robe. That said, repeated casts of Devoted Tzeentch would allow us to use the passive ability. And of course Pink Fire, but then... Yeah, you know what? I think we've done a... wait, but the Lore of Metal gives us a pretty meh passive for the Forsaken in particular. Although that passive would buff up the Chaos Spawn nicely, the Wind of Shaman passive, I mean. Metal shifting? The thing is, Lore of Metal is probably less spammable than Lore of Tzeentch, and the fact is, we would have life leeching to give us additional reserves. I suppose this army doesn't, this lord doesn't necessarily have to lead. Oh wow, he currently has passive ability Fires of Change, it's super ironic. Well, I mean, he doesn't currently have it, but he would have it. And this obviously helps as well. So, I guess it's an either-or thing, then. Wait, let's see what else we have. Shaman, you should be Metal Caster. Or at least you're... Are you a former Metal Caster? Yeah, you're a former Metal Caster. Hey, it is Metal Shifting. Yeah, and then I assume that you are a Tzeentchian... Are you also a former Metal Caster? Or no, you're a former Fire Caster. That also makes sense because, well, we're using a lot of fire stuff in this particular army, though it's still kind of stupid that Hell Cannons aren't magical fire attacks. But oh well. You know what, to me that says we go for Metal then. Because these guys are all Tzeentch former something. Well, this one will go Metal former, former Akshi. Wait, no. Metal former... I forgot which, Oh, your Wind of Death, okay. Yeah, screw it. Go Metal. Alrighty, and let's see what you got. Open dies, you gotta be kidding me. That's garbage, that's absolutely garbage. Well, we may not keep you at all, so it might not matter. You got Pink Fire, you got Gehenna's Golden Hounds, and Gaze of Fate. I mean, that's all alright, minus the fact that you get Gaze of Fate through this anyway. So doesn't that mean you can't actually use it? As in... I doubt that we have the ability to cast it twice, do we? Has anybody unlocked this while having this? Because I feel like they're both going to be bound to the left side, and then they're just going to overwrite each other. It won't give us two. At least I doubt that it would give us two, but I'd be curious to see. Either way, for now, buddy, you gotta go. Alrighty, and I hope you didn't have any ancillaries or anything like that, because I should have taken those away. But oh well. Mingzhu will trade you, and Terracotta Graveyard we don't care about. Actually, who do we trade this to again? We could trade it to the Blessed Dread, to give them a little bit more stuff in this territory. We could also give it to the USAC. Maybe we just give it to the USAC instead. If they, you know what, let's see if they take Terracotta Graveyard. If they do, we'll just trade it to the USAC, screw it. And then we'll start walling up all the nearby territories as well, just in case. Those lizards may come back after all. Now that that's done, let's go for a proper battle, shall we? There's some points to apply, but honestly, Vilitch hasn't needed points to be applied in ages. So we're gonna fight this one cinematically, and we'll see if we can't get a nice duel against MALUS, who's a pretty great duelist. He also has another Trickster Shard, which would be absolutely lovely to steal. What? Oh, he has the Warp Sword of Cain. Okay, oh. I thought it was the Widowmaker, and I got a little bit confused. But no, of course, MALUS has the Warp Sword. Yeah, that's fine. Alrighty. What does it do again? Oh, it gives him the heal plus the damage resistance. Oh, and it's quite a lot of healing, eh? Like, his stats are pretty damn nice. He's got more armor, a little bit less melee defense, but a little bit more melee attack, though, insignificantly so. That said, he does physical damage, at least in regular form. I don't know whether he gains magical damage when he switches to Zarkan form. I guess we'll see shortly. Let's get to it. Alright, Vilitch, you're not going to make a speech today, or maybe you missed it, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Here we go, finally. We've caught up to MALUS, and we are going to try to get the duel with him versus Vilitch. That's going to be the goal for this particular episode. MALUS is, after all, one of the better duelists in the game, and on top of that, he is very devastating in melee combat against mobs of enemies as well, because of his powers when he gets possessed by Zarkan, the area of effect abilities. He also has those warp swords, so he does heal, and a lot of decent stuff there. So I'm pretty excited to get the duel going if we can manage to do so. It's a reason to perhaps move Vilitch in by himself and try to find MALUS, or at least have Vilitch operating within the city by himself, which he's perfectly capable of doing. On top of that, we still have Tzeentch's shenanigans up, which means that the enemy doesn't actually know where that we are, which is why they're deployed all around the perimeter, because, well, we're all in stock. Of course, Vilitch is going to run around and try to find some enemies, but our main force is going to move in over here, both the flyers as well as most of our melee, but two sides will have 2 units of Forsaken as well as a single unit of Spawn to move in and capture some territories, or capture some supply locations rather, in order for us to not be hit by towers constantly. Anyway. Wait, was Vilitch just randomly talking, or did he just do the speech really late? Alrighty, and he's in here. Fortunately for us, or perhaps unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, the enemy army really isn't that threatening. It's mostly Dread Spears, Dark Shards, Bleak Swords, a few Shades and other stuff, but really not that concerning. So it's mostly MALUS that we really have to actually deal with here. Otherwise, it's just a matter of annoying the enemy army enough to try to draw them towards this portion of the battlefield. They will, of course, try to run from Vilitch, but they'll be, suffer a case of headlessness for daring to run away. Not that fighting would do them much better. There we go. Huh. What was that animation? It looks like he did something with his flail, something magical, but it wasn't clear whether it actually did anything. I mean, it was supposed to be an attack, but it didn't look like it worked out. Well, keep it up, Vilitch. You're in here alone while the rest of the army slowly moves into the city. Of course, this allows us to repeatedly cast stuff on the enemy as well. We do have plenty of Fires of Change to use on the enemy. There we go, through 2 sets of units, and ooh, looks like that actually killed quite a few of them as well. Sorry, Dread Spears. And here come more enemies to Vilitch. I was tempted to use our Infernal Gateway on this, but at the end decided not to bother. I'd rather have our melee units come in and actually deal with all this, and they are starting to approach, and here they are. And there we go, both our Chosen, our Chaos Warriors, and our Aspiring Champions. the Severed Claw. I'm gonna try to find some enemies who are apparently all going to just run away from them. I guess the Dark Elves don't really want to face off against Chosen in melee, especially when they're Dread Spears. They have no Black Guard of Nagaron to call upon in order to fight on equal terms, I should say. I feel like the units with shields don't do nearly enough shield bashing when they charge in. And they do it when they attack, but not when they charge. I feel like there should be a little bit more of, like, you know, lock shields and then step forward and knock the enemy away. Maybe that should be part of a sort of formation as well. Alrighty, well, finally we found the enemy Dread Spears, and we are going to get engaged. Indeed, our Sorcerer is as well. Got a very decent amount of HP, and as long as he's not getting focused down by enemy range, he should be fine. In addition to that, our Flyers have moved in and are going to start annoying the enemy. We've opened a portal glyph to try to distract enemy forces, but are otherwise going to send our Doom Knights and our Screamers and our Exalted Hero to lead them on his Manticore. They look like they're having a fun time. Any isolated range units are going to have a very bad time trying to deal with him. The Vilitch is now trying to mow down more Dread Spears, but mostly in the hopes of finding MALUS. MALUS was moving around this way, now he's moving around this way, and Vilitch is going to try to go after him. Get the heck away from him. Let Vilitch go. They're interfering with him. I wonder why MALUS didn't go for Vilitch. He ignored this and tries to go for our mob of infantry, perhaps to activate his area of effect damage. And that's okay, though. We'll move the Severed Claw to deal with MALUS specifically, while the rest of our army deals with additional units out here. They're gonna get hit with that Demon's Curse, that melee defense reduction, as well as the damage coming in. But hopefully this will give Vilitch time to chase MALUS down and get a one-on-one duel going. He's not in an ideal position though, because the camera gets screwed over by these stupid little frickin' ruin pieces. I hate them so much. And I feel like I talk about them every time we're on these maps, but I have no idea why they made it so that these things impact the camera at all, or the pathing of units. But anyway, at the very least, the Vilitch has reached. MALUS and the two should be able to be fighting. And, did he actually manage to kill one of the... Yeah, he killed a Chosen. Chosen with Halberd. I thought for a second he might have killed one of our aspiring champions, but not the case. Otherwise, while these two are fighting it out, let's see what's going on in the rest of the battle. The main melee force, rather, is going to start moving towards the center, and both of our side little mini forces are moving in as well. Our aerial units are doing a good job at both destroying towers as well as finding isolated units to kill, still led by our Exalted Hero, who's healing and using that Potion of Toughness to buff himself up a little bit, and he should be able to move into the center to essentially link up with our Sorcerer as well shortly. Looks like we've killed enough enemies for them to get their Murderous Prowess activated, though they haven't killed very many of us at all, at only 10 losses so far, and we are also capturing 2 supply locations so far in the hopes of preventing the enemy from using those towers. Getting a few extra shots in from our Pink Horrors at MALUS, but we are going to move them to stop doing that, because that wasn't on purpose. Damn it, camera. Why must you be like this? You know, when I was sending Vilitch in to fight MALUS here, I hadn't considered this issue with the camera. Oh well. I mean, we're close enough to, I guess, see them fighting, if nothing else. Would be nice to get a little bit closer, though. Also, let's see what the damage is. MALUS is about at half HP. Vilitch is completely unharmed thus far, and his barrier is almost at full HP. But now, MALUS has transformed, which is what we've all been waiting for. And now he's got 107 melee attack and 70 melee defense, as well as the Bloodstorm active, so his damage resistance. We'll see how his new and improved form stacks up against Vilitch. Of course, MALUS is only at level 15, and Vilitch is at level 50, but still, he's still a damn good fighter. Alrighty, we'll see how that works out. Our melee force is going to continue moving in finally to the main enemy portion of the settlement. The key building, rather, is the name of it. We've also opened a second portal glyph with our Exalted Hero, who's going to drop down on the archers here, mostly so that the other units that were back here can attack the barricade and break through to the center. Essentially the same thing that's going on over here, or about to be going on over here. On top of all that, we have summoned a Firestorm of Tzeentch and a Searing Doom. Oh no, that was the Gehenna's Golden Hounds, damn it. I looked up into the sky and everything too. Yeah, Firestorm of Tzeentch on these guys after summoning a unit of pink horrors on top of them from our aspiring champions. Certainly a reason to get more aspiring champions in this army so we could have several summons if we should so desire. Speaking of our aspiring champions, they're absolutely ripping these dread spears apart. And obviously the latter have absolutely no chance against them, especially with Vilitch supporting them. Speaking of Vilitch, it looks like Malus's Tsarkan form is nearly at half HP, whereas Vilitch is down to only 20%-ish of his barrier, though his HP remains at full health. At least they've moved a little bit further away from the from this camera blocking little ruin thing. Little columns. That's a little bit better, but still not ideal. And some units tried to move in to interfere with the duel. Very brave of them, I should say. Alright, keep working on it. Vilitch Malus is now at 35, maybe 40% HP. Alright, well those two can continue duking it out. The rest of the enemy is very, very close to done. They're down to 650 units out of 2,300, and it looks like the center portion of the map is being attacked from every side. We've also captured 3 out of the 4 supply locations, and the last one should be falling shortly. And in fact, the last of them are going to just rout. So now it'll be Malus, who I do believe is unbreakable in the Tsarkan form, so we can watch the conclusion of this duel here. Alrighty, a few more hits, I'm sure, and this has been very one-sided in terms of the duel. And it's Tzeentch versus Slaanesh here. And down goes Malus, finished off with a bolt of blue fire at point blank. Completely unnecessary, but I thought it might look nice. And it surely did. There we go. Well done, Vilitch. You are... Okay, he might have taken a tiny bit of damage, I don't know, but his abilities allowed him to heal up whatever tiny amount of damage he may have taken, if Malus did indeed break through that shield. Once again, very one-sided battle, but we got the duel that we were looking for, and now we have our defeat trait. Well, there we go. This is why I was saying earlier that Vilitch doesn't really need the levels or the army buffs or anything, because he's already just ludicrously strong. Especially Vilitch himself, personally, feels really, really obnoxiously strong. I mean, he basically fought Malus and took basically no damage whatsoever, all the while obliterating part of Malus's army and outdoing everybody else in terms of sheer damage dealt by quite the amount. Great job to the Doom Knights, though. They certainly cleaned house this time around. Can't wait to get a few more in this particular army, and then, well, obviously a few more chosen and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, looks like the spawn did okay, but obviously nothing compared to Vilitch. It does really feel like Vilitch's only downside is the fact that he's incredibly slow. Now, we could absolutely subjugate Malus, but I'm not going to. As I said, I wanted to make this a little bit different from the Valkia campaign, so we're going to occupy the place for now. I don't remember whether we should actually be giving this to the Tong or not. Although, who else would we give it to? Volcano's Heart is right beside us, and this isn't a Dark Fortress. So, you know what, yeah, just give it to the Vassal. Screw it. Give it to Vassal. It's not like we got hurt anyway. And yeah, there we go. There's that armor-piercing weapon damage update, upgrade, whatever that I wanted. Forest of Decay, etc. Wait. Yeah, Forest of Decay is also not a Dark Fortress, so they can keep it for themselves. The Tong, I mean, which are our vassals. And there you go, Vilitch. Good job, buddy. And you'll heal here to full over the next turn, and in fact it doesn't really matter where, because you could just keep on moving. Also, just before I forget, this unit of Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch can now become a Chosen of Tzeentch instead. The difference in stats is very small, but that's between a rank 8 and a rank 1, so yeah. Plus, Vilitch does have to have the most elite units, so yeah, let's go for that. And there we go. Now you have 3 Chosen, which should enable you to unlock your Path of Glory of winning the battle with 3 Chosen. And now we just need to get some Chaos Knights, some Doom Knights, and all that sort of stuff. We also need to keep an eye out on the Exalted Champions that we can recruit in case of getting possibly a better one than we currently have. Exalted Heroes, rather. I keep confusing Exalted Heroes with Aspiring Champions. Infernal Dominance, okay, these are all terrible. I guess we can check out Gulator and his Dark Fury. Now, he has that Vigor Reduction for Chosen, to be fair, which is really hard to acquire, but I don't like Dark Fury and the rest of the... Well, Chaos Assassin is pretty useless for you if you're going to be an army agent. I don't know, most likely I'm going to delete him unless there's another one that we may want to delete, but that'll be, I think, a consideration for next time, as I am going to call this episode here. Next time we continue northward towards, I guess, Sigvald. He does still have to be destroyed. And, oh, these guys have a tiny little army remaining that might attack the Port of Secrets. But yeah, we could try attacking Sigvald himself, but there's no telling exactly where he's going. We might be better off just ignoring the Lord himself and trying to move north towards his actual Dark Fortresses there. I wish I remembered what his defeat trait was, and whether it's worth it actually chasing after him, because this would probably be the only time that we would ever be able to defeat him. As well, I mean, he could come back. But if he doesn't die here, then it would indeed be the only time. You know, I'll think about it. That'll be for next time, plus the potential of attacking some more Burning Wind Nomads, and finally, burninating some of these undead. Here's hoping, as well as the possible vassalization of the demonic factions. While I'm not going to bother with the Dark Elves, once again, just for variety's sake compared to Valkia, I do want to try to get the demon factions if possible. So we'll see. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. Whatever I usually say at the end of these things, all glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.